Hey everyone, Anthony Scott here at ToyHypeUSA.com. Today we are reviewing Super7's newly released Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Wave 8 Genghis Frog Figure. Special shout out and thank you to our friends at Super7 for sending along for review. It's greatly appreciated. I also have Shredder over here, which we'll be taking a closer look at. This wave also includes Robot Rocksteady and Raph the Space Cadet, which I don't have in hand, but those are the other two figures in the wave. Genghis Frog comes in similar packaging to the rest of the line, which is a window box packaging with a slip cover that is inserted right over the packaging. On the front, you have some really cool artwork here. Most of it's green and dark gray. Nothing on either side. On the top, you have the Ultimates logo. And on the bottom, you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles classic logo. Here's a look at the window box. The artwork is similar to what we've seen before. Personally, I love the packaging on these. The Super7 logo is right up there on the upper right-hand side. There's also some graffiti, which is on the top part of the box. On the bottom, you have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles classic logo. Genghis Frog is listed right there below that. Here is a look at the sides, more graffiti. And the other side, here is a look at the back. You have the Turtles shell logo right there. Some additional details, including a bio. So there's your look there. Below that, you have the Super7 and Nickelodeon logos. You have this detail right here. Also, on the top of this, the Ninja Turtles logo. And on the bottom, you have the choking hazard warning, 2023 Viacom Nickelodeon logo, Super7 logo. Here's a look at the plastic tray along with all these accessories. There's another part of the tray in the back, which let me show you guys, which houses this surfboard here. So I'm going to take them out of packaging now, and let's take a closer look. Here's an in-hand look at Genghis Frog, given a modern sculpt inspired from the vintage figure. The skin is given lumps and sculpted texture. There's a lot of great details on them. This shirt, I'm sure you guys remember from the vintage figure, is light blue with some yellow patterns such as stars. You have lightning bolt right there on the sides. And here's a look at the back. Bringing this in a little bit closer, you have some lightning bolts there. You have, say, I don't know exactly what that is, but it's some kind of face, maybe a cloud or some kind of crazy star or flower. Around his belt, you have grenades, which are in holsters. These are non-removable. Very nice attention to detail and everything. On the back, you can even see how this can be removed. So it's an option to remove it there. He is also nicely accessorized with some jewelry, starting with this metallic gold bracelet, which is on his left wrist here. And on the other side, he has this big red watch with a white head, which you see here. It's also given some very nice attention to detail on the sculpt there. And as I'm bringing it closer, you can see the lumps on his skin. It's also given several shades of green, dark, and light green. Here's a closer look at the other side. It's the same thing with his feet, same skin tone. And on the left side, he has this yellow band around his ankle, which is non-removable. A closer look at the head sculpt. You have a look at the eyes and the attention to detail right here on the head. You see some of the teeth on the sides. Here is a closer look at the back. Here's a look at the other head sculpt. This one is noticeably bigger with a wider mouth. You also have the tongue sticking out and a completely different facial expression. Here's a closer look at it. I personally love how they painted the tongue. I think they did a great job on that. It definitely looks a bit realistic. Taking a look at the sides, you'll notice that the insides of the mouth is painted in a completely different color compared to the tongue, so that's a good attention to detail right there. Here's a look at the other side. Here's an in-hand look at all of the accessories that are included, which includes 2 interchangeable head sculpts, which I've shown you guys, 3 sets of interchangeable hands, 2 gripping, 2 weapon gripping hands, and 2 fisted hands, a tongue gun, a boogie board with a leash, a bandolier, which is removable. The official instructions, however, specify that the grenades are removable. That, however, is not the case. He also comes with sunglasses and a necklace. Here's a pose showcasing some of his articulation. Here's another pose. Genghis Frog is fully articulated in the Ultimate style, and I know in the past I don't think I've done any reviews for Ninja Turtles Ultimate figures, so this is the first time that Super7 has sent something along to me, and I do greatly appreciate that. I've also haven't had time to review the other Ninja Turtles Ultimates that I've purchased over the years. So let's take a look at him. Ball jointed head sculpt, full range of motion, swivel hinge shoulders, swivel hinged elbows, both sides, swivel hinged wrists, ball jointed torso here, ball jointed hips, good range of motion, swivel hinged knees, hinged and rocker ankles. So there's a look at all of the articulation, and it's also standard for the other Ultimates lines, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, stuff like that. Here's a look at the sunglasses. They fit right over the head. Here's a closer look. As I said, these are placed right over the head, so that's how to put them on. Here's a look at the glasses on the other interchangeable head sculpt. Here is a closer look. Just like the other head sculpt, the sunglasses are just placed right on top of the head. Here's a closer look at his closed-fisted hands. These hands are great for punching poses, as shown. The tongue gun is a unique looking accessory, which is actually also one of my favorites in this offering. It's basically a tongue shooting out of a gun, which I think is pretty cool. The handle is painted in metallic silver, so are a few other parts of it, but it has blue and green deco, which is the same deco used for the figure. The tongue is also the same color as the tongue on his other head sculpt, and it's pretty long, thin over here, larger out there. The tongue is also not removable. I'm just showing you guys all sides of it. Let's take a look at the top here. Here's a look at the gun from the other side. It actually looks like a ray gun. However, it has a tongue sticking out, which is definitely unique. No other turtle figure has ever came with anything like this. So this is definitely a pretty cool accessory. Here's a look at the tongue gun along with the other head sculpt. So in this clip, you have 2 tongues sticking out, which is definitely cool. Here's a look at the tongue gun in the other hand, so you can swap out in either hand. Here is one final pose for you guys with the 2 tongues sticking out and the sunglasses. One last thing about the tongue gun, it can spin. So if you turn this silver part on the back, I need 2 hands for that, you can turn the gun. So as I'm spinning this, you should be able to see on camera the tongue is spinning, which is a pretty cool feature. Here's a look at the boogie board with the leash that's attached to it. The leash is very fragile and you can wrap it around an ankle or a wrist. However, I'm going to leave it as is because I don't want to risk breaking it. It's just tied to a string. And again, that's very fragile. The boogie board can be held on the back. There is a handle back here that the hand can be placed on. The boogie board is painted in the same shade of blue and yellow as is the shirt, and it's very nicely detailed. The bottom is what you're looking at right here, as these are sticking up, and here is a look at the other side. This is the top. And the yellow part, these are sculpted on and painted, so you have those details as well. Here's another pose for you guys of the boogie board, as well as the tongue sticking out head sculpt. Here's a comparison with Raphael and Splinter. I have not had a chance to open additional Ninja Turtles Ultimates, as I do not have the space right now, so I just have these guys opened. Overall, Genghis Frog is a great figure I think fans are going to love. I'm loving this modern sculpt that they offered him. The head sculpt with the tongue is definitely my favorite, as it creates a new dynamic look for the character that the vintage toy did not come with. So that is definitely a plus. Thank you again to Super7 for sending along for a review. This is greatly appreciated. To purchase, check out our sponsors at toyhypeusa.com. I am Anthony Scott at Toy Hype USA. Thank you so much for watching this video, and stay tuned for more coverage and reviews.